Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Smurfy and today we are playing blue, red, burn, tempo stuff. So in standard, as we all know, Delver Secrets is now in the format. So I already wanted to play some sort of like blue, red, burn deck as soon as I saw that Delver was in the format. But what did we also get? We got Smoldering Egg, which again rewards you for casting lots of instants and sorceries. So between the two, I really just didn't need any more convincing. So what I've done today is I've essentially stuck together what I would assume is some sort of reasonable blue-red aggressive deck. So to start off with the 1-drops, we've got 4 Delver Secrets. We're also playing Symmetry Sage, which I think might be reasonable to play. It's just a 1-mana 0/2, but whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you can pump it or another creature up to 2 power. And a deck like this, we're aiming to cast an instant every turn, so it's a 1-mana 2/2 flyer, in theory. We will see how that plays out. In the 2-drops, as I've said, we're playing Smoldering Egg, but I actually think what might be even potentially a stronger card in this deck is Flame Channeler. So it's a 2-mana 2/2. When you whenever you burn your opponent or a creature or whatever, deal damage with a spell, then it flips, and now it's all of a sudden it's a 2-mana 3/3. But also has, whenever you deal damage to something from a spell, you put a flame counter on it. You can then pay 1 generic mana and remove that flame counter, or however many you've got, and you can then cast the top card of your library. So it's actually play, so you can hit lands off it as well. So every time you cast a shock or a play with fire, you can essentially just pay an extra mana and you get to almost draw a card. Obviously it's not as good as drawing a card, but it's pretty damn close in a burn style deck. So I think that card could be really, really good if it goes unchecked. We're also playing a 1-of Mystic. The reason we're playing this is because it says whenever you cast an instant, sorcery, or wizard, then he gets +2/+0. So it's a 3-mana 1/3, but very easily can get 5 power, and sometimes even more than that. So I thought I'd just stick it in, give it a go. Bearing in mind that we have a lot of wizards in the deck. Everything in the deck is a wizard except the egg. So everything in the deck except egg will trigger the Mystic. So yeah, that should be fairly easy to get in some damage with that. Other than that, we've got 4 Consider, 4 Play with Fire, 4 Shock, and 4 Royal Eruption. Not expecting to kick that very often, but it is there if we get the chance. And 4 Expressive Iteration. Other than that, we're playing 1 Magic Missile. I think this should probably be more of. There is the new Planeswalker that it makes 2/2/1 creatures with reach and leaves it on 1 toughness. So Magic Missiles literally just clears that card straight out. Kills both the tokens and kills the Planeswalker. Planeswalker dies before the triggers on the creatures put the counters onto it. So that's a clean answer to that. But it's also 3 mana for 3 damage, which is uncounterable. So if you're against like a control deck and you just need to finish them off, you've got that as a good answer. In regards to the land base, I don't have many of the new blue-red lands, and I didn't really want to spend wild cards on them, as there are so many different things to play in the new format. But also, do you need to, is a question that I thought to myself. So I did already have 2 of each of the mythic ones that are like the flip lands with the spells on the other half. These are really important for Delver Secret. So I thought I would keep those in. But other than that, this is essentially a pretty close to a budget deck. And I thought that might be fun to try out. So we're playing 4 mythic lands. You don't need to play those, but we're playing them because we have them. And 4 Spikefield Hazard. It's just a land that can flip Delver. So I thought we would add it in anyway. So that's the list. Let's get into some games. Yeah, sure, we'll go ahead and keep this. It's super slow, but I think it's fine. We can just play the turn 1 tapped land, and then we get to play a bunch of channelers. So it looks like we're against mono green. Oh no. Soul tie perhaps. See what our opponent is doing here. Oh, their name is Blood Artist. That's pretty cool. Not that I like that card. Absolutely hate it. But it's cool that they have the name of a card as their name. Just played a land and passed. Okay. Kind of want to just play the Channeler and then end of turn shock. Or I guess before damage. But the Mystic is much more impressive to get on board early. and it will trigger off this because it's whenever you cast an instant sorcery or a wizard spell. So that will pump. So if that's the case, we're going to attack for 2, and then we're going to play the Mystic here. If they have a removal spell, I'd assume they'd use it now. No? Okay. I guess they could just not have a removal spell, but I don't know. It seems fairly likely they have something. If they've kept a hand and they've not done anything until turn 3, you'd assume they'd at least have removal. Yeah, there we go. So 4 mana here. Toski. Okay, that's not what I was expecting, but Toski is a good option. Let's go ahead and consider first. No, I think we're quite happy to draw that at this point. Yeah, we'll take that. And we'll play the Channeler here. And pass the turn. Such a cool card. I wish I had haste. Probably would be too good, but I just feel like, I don't know, something about the artwork makes me think it has haste, if that even makes sense. So we're going to attack here. Obviously we block. Because they effectively bounce at the moment, and I don't want them to draw a card. And they're going to play a Planeswalker, sure. So going to create a 1/1 here. We're just going to go ahead and shock that. Flip both of our guys, and whenever a spell you control deals damage. Okay, so we can kill the, what's that even called? Tavar? Yeah, we can kill Tavar. Get the token, the counters, and play the Delver. I should have done this first, really. Yeah, we'll wait till next time to do that then, I guess. We could activate 1 at least. No, I think we won't. We'll play that. Have it entered tapped. We're just going to get in for the damage whilst we can. Opponent's at 12. We've got a reasonable board state, and we have the potential to draw 3 cards next turn, and that's assuming we draw no burn spells. I wish this card was good enough for Modern Burn. It would be sweet in Modern Burn. Whenever another non-token elf or berserker you control dies, draw a card and lose life. Okay. Well, I'm more than happy for them to draw cards if they're going to lose life for it. We're going to take the 1 this time, because if we can flip this Delver, we're going to get in for some serious damage next turn, and I'm more than happy to give them an extra card for that. See what our opponent does. I assume make an elf. What else can they do? Put 1/1 counter on target creep. It's a target elf, isn't it? Yeah, up to 1 target elf. Untap it against Death Touch. Cool. Absolutely fantastic draw. So we draw and play with fire, and what do we want to do here? So we can just kill the elf. Actually, we should probably start with activating this. Oh, that's a good draw. I think we actually would prefer to kill this first and make them lose the life. Yeah, okay, our opponent's just conceded. Yeah, they can see the amount of card draw we had between those two, and we could kill our opponent fairly easily. If not this turn, then definitely next turn. So sweet. Really impressed with the abbot there. This hand is very touchy on the mana, being as we've got one where we have to pay 3, and then the next one enters tapped. We've got a turn 1 Delver, and we've got some reasonably good cards. We'll go ahead and keep this. It's a little bit slow, but it should be okay. Go ahead, play Delver and pass the turn, and it looks like our opponent is on one of those snow decks. The black deck with the destroy all creatures and then reanimate something with equal to how much snow you paid. No, we will not show that. What does this do? Sacrifice a counter of target non-creature spell unless it's control pays 3. Okay, so it's just mana leak on a creature, and then 3 mana disturb. Non-creature spells you control can't be countered. Okay, that's pretty sweet. So we'll go ahead, play this tapped, and we'll play a Sage. I don't really want to make that trade, so we're not gonna. If we can flip this Delver and just swing in the air, that's absolutely fine with us. We definitely want to reveal that. And what are we doing here? Playing the Sage and playing with fire this game. The other option is to try and shoot this, but I don't really see the point. Actually, yeah, if we're going to do anything, we might as well shoot that instead of their face, right? Let's start off with Shock, see what they do. And we'll pump the Sage. So now we're attacking for 5 in the air, which is a pretty good clock to be fair. What on earth is that? When it's battlefield you may pay to... Oh, okay, so we actually should have swung first and went to blockers before we shot that, in hindsight. But I just did not know that was even a card, to be brutally honest. The new set I'm not very familiar with, particularly the blue cards. Alright, let's try this again. This time we're going to attack first, and now we can play with fire or shock. We might as well play with fire if we're going to go face. Well, the other option is to play the channeler, but no, I kind of want to get the scry out of this as well. So those pump each other, or pump themselves, whichever way you want to look at it. Okay, so they're going to kill off one of them. And we reveal an island. An island is not what we're looking for, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. And we'll go ahead and pass the turn. Yeah, we kind of just need to draw another mountain or red source here. And this is where magic missiles would be perfect to cast if we drew a mountain, which we didn't. So magic missiles was 3 damage divided how you want. So you just do 1 to each spider and then 1 to the Spider Queen, and you just straight away clear all of it out straight away. So that would have been perfect, but we did not get to do that. So what do we want to do? I'm not too fussed about the drawing a card and losing a life as much as I probably should be, just because we've got so much damage in hand. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think we're just going to go channeler, and then next turn flip. Yeah, as I said, we're just looking for a red source really. So they're going to draw a card and lose a life, which is absolutely fine. There is a... oh, what the fuck is that? At the beginning of your upkeep, choose target opponent. Until the end of turn, that player can't cast spells. You may look at the top card of their library anytime and play that card. Okay. That's very, very strange. So we'll go ahead, play another Sage, and we're just gonna play with fire to the face. And I think that's gonna come in tapped, isn't it? If you control 2 or more other lands, enter the battlefield tapped. Brilliant. It's not ideal, but it will have to do. We will not attack. But we can now start using the embodiment of flame to get some value. Such a strange card. So we'll play the... so the other option is to shock and then activate the ability, but at that point we have used all our mana up, so the only thing we could do is get a land and play the land, but that's not really accomplished anything anyway. So we'll play the Den, and I guess we just royal into the face. Yeah, we could like try and kill these, but I'd rather just keep the missiles for that. So yeah, we're just gonna go 3 to the face and see what that gets us. Is it gonna resolve? Yep. Okay, so we get 1 counter on our flame here. And I guess we could squeeze in an extra 2 damage here if we attack with everything, or potentially 3. They're just so likely to have removal, and if they have removal, then we haven't accomplished anything, and we've probably lost the flame. So no, we're not going to attack here. Yeah, sure. So they've gone down to 6 now, and they're just going for lethal. Looks like it. Well, we'll block as much damage as we can. Take 8 here down to 4. And they're gonna play another one. Holy shit, okay. And 2 more spiders. Okay. So we can deal 3 and activate. No, that's not gonna do anything, is it? Wait a minute, if we kill that, and then use the missile to the face, puts them to 5, and then that's lethal, assuming they don't have anything else. So we'll see what happens. It can't be countered, so there is that. See if they have any shenanigans here. I mean, if they were just holding up a counter spell, that genuinely could just be lethal. That would be a really strange way to end the game if, holy shit, what? They had nothing? I assume they had a counter spell and they thought in their head, well, I have a counter spell, I have 2 blockers, there's no way I can win. But the missiles can't be countered. So I definitely think our opponent played that too aggressive towards the end, only keeping 2 blockers up. Particularly with the missiles card being in the format, but probably most people don't even have that on their radar. So we managed to squeeze out that win, despite us. I don't think we actually should have. Holy shit. That was quite an interesting game. Yeah. 2 eggs in our opener is going to be interesting. We'll go ahead and keep this. We've got plenty of stuff to do. It's pretty cool artwork on our opponent's deck as well. We'll go ahead, play the island, play the Delver, and fingers crossed we will flip it. Opponent leads off with a snow-covered forest. We will definitely reveal that. And play this, pay the 3, and play the egg. Yeah. The other option is to consider and play with fire at the end of their turn, but that seems incredibly aggressive to do that. And here we can play the egg, we can consider first and try and find a land. Fortunately, the werewolf pack leader at the moment isn't too much of an issue because we've got the smoldering egg. It's just as soon as they put a counter on that somehow or anything, it becomes an issue. And I don't really want to be missing too many land drops early on, but I think it's fine to play the other egg this turn and hold off on 1 turn with the consider. We are fairly likely to find a land if we chain play with fire to the face and then consider, because then you're looking 3 cards deep for a land. Opponent plays just goes effectively just plays the 4/3 vanilla. They don't even bother attacking with the pack leader, obviously. And so we found our land. It does come in tapped. I think we want to use Royal Eruption and just hit the adversary here. It's big enough that it hits through the eggs. And the eggs are just going to get closer to flipping as well. So that's going to give us a lot more late game than the deck necessarily normally would have. Having 2 eggs is just really, really promising for the late game. Opponent just plays another adversary here. I assume they're red-green werewolves. And they opt to kill the Delver. Well, we're definitely not blocking that this turn. We'll take the 4. And I guess we lead off with consider and see what happens. So these are on 3, 4, 5, and we just need a 2-mana spell and we flip them. So I kind of want to just put that in the graveyard. Yeah. Okay, sure. So we'll play the Sage here. And we'll pass the turn. I think we're just going to go all out to the face. So they're going to draw a card, but I don't think we really care that much. I think we just take the 7, right? And then... or we can just chump. So with these, we put them down to 7. Yeah, I kind of want to just jump block here. Obviously, we can't jump block this because it's got trample. I'm kind of banking on the fact that we do find a 2-mana spell though. I guess the other option was to use these and double block this, and then double spell to the face, Sage trigger on both, and then it would be big enough to kill the pack leader. But I don't want to risk the eggs dying. I'd rather just jump and try and get our opponent next turn. It doesn't really matter anymore. Yeah, if we draw any cantrip or any 2-mana spell, then I'm pretty sure we just have lethal. The only thing they could have is another piece of removal. They just play the chariot, which is fine. So I really would like to draw a 2-mana spell here, and we draw a land. Okay. I think we're going to have to use the creature land here as a blocker. Yeah. That sucks. Yeah, that really does suck. Okay, well that's not too bad. Okay, they are literally going to attack with everything here. But all we need to do is try and survive, and then we just have to hope we top deck something good. So we might as well just activate it now. It doesn't really make much of a difference. So they'll copy one of their tokens here. They'll draw their card, and they're tapped out, so we know we can block their 3s quite safely. So we're currently taking, wait, that one's not attacking. So they're going to trample over for 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's now 2, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we'll do that. And just hope we draw a burn spell. Play with Fire is a burn spell, granted, but we are still 1 mana short. Oh, that sucks. Fuck it. We'll quickly scry 1. Yeah. And that is all she wrote. So, since playing the deck for quite a few rounds now, there are quite a few drastic changes that I would make. And I think one of the main things was there were too many low impact creatures that just didn't always or even reasonably consistently deal any damage or do what they were there to do. So for example, the egg just very rarely flipped, and the sage was just often just not doing much. So this is what I think I would change the deck to. We've moved to a much more top heavy burn list with 4 magic missiles and 2 slash. And then that way you've got much more top end to actually close out a game instead of trying to rely on play with fire and shock, because they just don't end the game very easily. The Delver of Secrets was fairly reliable in the deck, just because like that just so much of the deck flips Delver of the Secrets. You've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 26, 30, 34 cards. 34 cards in the deck flick Delver, which is just insane. So yeah, I think Delver is reasonably efficient in this deck. The Channeler, again, I just thought was absolutely fantastic. Really did a lot more than I was expecting, and I already had high hopes for it. So absolutely loved the Channeler in the deck as well. And the Mystic also, I think, just has that really, really strong edge in the late game where you can just you can hit for 7 with this thing. It's just really powerful. So I think these are the cards that are much more consistent. And then what you've got is still the main early game suite of Consider and a bunch of small removal spells and Expressive Iteration, where you've just got that top heavy burn list at the end, and I think that's just going to help you close out games. So that is what I would play if I was going to move forward with this deck, and in fact I really enjoyed the deck. So I will probably make a revised version of this video with the new updated list. If you guys like it, please feel free to comment it out. I'll make sure I make that video, or alternatively, if there's another list you'd like me to play or something like that, again, please let me know and I will probably play it. If you want to see more content in the future, feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching and peace.